this is the card that we're going to be making, and this is a fun fold birthday card. It's going to open like this, and you have lots of room. Let me zoom that out, that you can write on your card. So that's what we're going to be making today. Okay, this is Dawn Duvall with Shall We Stamp. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and welcome to my YouTube video. If you haven't subscribed to my video, please do so, and that will keep you abreast of when I post new information, and you'll stay on top of what we're doing in the crafting world. Today's card is a birthday card, and it's a fun fold, and we're going to start with 2 pieces of lovely lipstick cardstock, and these are both cut at 4 by 5.5. And then I'm using a piece of the In Color designer paper pack, and this is the lovely lipstick, and this is cut at 4 by 5.25, so that will be based like that with a small border around the edge of the card. And then we will also need a Whisper White cardstock, and this is cut at 3 3/4 by 11. Now we do need to score this, so we're going to score this at 5 inches. So let me put that in the trimmer. So we're going to score this at 5 inches, and we're going to move it down and then move it over to 10, and we'll score it at 10 inches. And if you haven't purchased this trimmer, you need to look at getting one. It's a nice trimmer. It's small and compact. Arm reaches out to 17 inches. It's also in metrics, and you have a cutting blade and the scoring blade, and you can also work on it this way if it's easier for you. So there's all sorts of measurements, and this is only $25, and you can get that in my online store. Okay, so let me move this up here out of the way. I think that's all the cutting we're going to do for now. Now we're going to take our cardstock, and we're going to fold it at the 5.5 mark, and I'm going to go ahead and use my bone folder and make sure I burnish that edge really well. And then the 10-inch one, we're going to fold it back, because this is going to be the, where we're going to put adhesive, and we're going to do tear and tape. How this is going to work is that we are going to place that on our one piece of cardstock, the 4 1/4 by 5.5, and then the other piece that has the designer series paper on it is going to be attached, so that when we open it, let me flip this around, so that it's got to be like this, so that when we open it, it will open like that. Okay, so it's just another fun fold card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some tear and tape, and I want to use something a little bit stronger just because it's going to be opened, and you just want to make sure that it doesn't move around or come apart. So let's go ahead and we'll just put a piece of tear and tape at the top here of this 1-inch piece, and then we're going to add another piece at the bottom. And this is really such an easy, quick, fun card, and the recipient will just be so surprised. And I've got this a little bit. All right, so we're going to go ahead and apply that. Now, before we attach anything, let's go ahead and get our card decorated. And I'm just going to set that off to the side for just a minute. Actually, let's go ahead and add our adhesive. I'm using snail adhesive, so we'll go ahead and attach this to the bottom piece of our card base. And let's go ahead and get that on there, and then we'll be ready to do everything else. So we're going to go ahead and place this right here, and this is going to leave a small border. All right, so we're not going to take off this yet, but that's how our card's going to open. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add our designer series paper, and you can use whichever. I'm using the dotted side, so I'm going to apply my adhesive to all 4 sides, and you can use liquid adhesive if that's your preference. I like using the snail, but the liquid does give you a little bit of ability to move if you place it down and it's not in the right position that you would like it. Then the next thing that you're going to do is you are going to use we're going to cut out a 2 1/4 circle punch using the sparkly glimmer paper that we have. And then the balloon punch that we have, I've cut out 3 balloons, and I did one in Purple Posy, lovely lipstick, and also Pool Party. And what we're going to do is we are going to attach these with glue dots and dimensionals, and we've got some baker's twine that we're going to make our strings. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add just a little white mark to give it some more definition. and put a dot there. It's just really going to make the balloon come alive. So we'll just do like that, just to show what there's a shadow coming in on the balloon. Well, and this is our chalk marker, and this you can find in my online store as well. And I'll have all of the measurements and the information on the products that I'm using will be in a PDF attachment at the bottom of this video, okay? All right, so the next thing I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut me a couple of strands of the baker's twine, because we're going to make our tails. Now these are going to be a little bit long. You probably only need maybe 3 inches or so, and then we're going to make a bow. We'll also make a bow, so I'm going to go ahead and cut a piece to do that. And this is pretty easy. This is our white baker's twine that is available, and this is really one of those must-have things that you should have in your craft room in your supplies, because you always could use baker's twine, right? And especially white, since that's a neutral color. It goes with everything. All right, now what we're going to do is we are going to place some glue dots on the back of the balloons, and then we're going to attach our strings and then add some dimensionals to pop those up. So let me put a glue dot right on the back, because that's what we're going to attach our string to. We will add a piece right there, just get that on there, and then I'll attach 2 dimensionals so that we pop these up, and we're going to put these on that glimmer, the silver, the glimmer circle here, which will make it really pretty. Add 2 dimensionals, so I put one at the top of the balloon, and then I'm also going to put one right on top of the string, so that will also help hold that in. So let's do that to the other 2. And then you can put these whatever order you want to put your color in. It's up to you. It doesn't matter. Push down with your thumbnail. That helps to bring up the protective backing on that. So we'll pull that one off. This is really an easy card to make. All right, so let's start with, we'll just add one of the balloons on here, and we're just going to kind of put these on. And I'm going to put this one up a little bit higher, and then I'll put the balloon, the party one, we're going to put that one underneath and add that right there. And then we're going to pull our strings together. Now let me put this on dimensionals. We will leave the backing on until we're ready to attach this to the back of our card, okay? So let's just we're going to put 4 dimensionals. Never have enough dimensionals. Okay, so we're going to leave that like that. So now what we want to do, we're going to place those on here. Then we're going to build our card right here. So let's go ahead and attach that to our card base so that we'll have it all in place. And I'll just peel off the backing. Now you have to be careful when you're using the tear and tape, because once you apply your cards to this, it's going to stick. So you want to make sure you've got everything lined up. And I'm just going to hold that down with my thumb, and I'm going to make sure that the top is lined up where it needs to be, and my sides are lined up, and then I will just lay that down, and we'll press it down, and that's how our card's going to open. Isn't that cute? And there we go. So that's how our card's going to open, like that. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and add our circle to the top of the card. So then we'll do our tie up our balloons, get our tags tied. So we're going to put him right about there. And I think this is such a cute card. Now you see my tags are kind of long, my tails are long, but that's okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little glue dot, and we're going to roll it up just a little and place it down, just so that our strings will attach to that, right? That's going to hold them in place. So we're going to put them like that and just squish it down, okay? And then we'll take our scissors and we'll cut these, right? So we're going to make sure this is all on top of each other so that they stay right like that. And then we're going to take our bow, and with another glue dot, we are going to add our bow to our balloon, and we're going to do that right probably in this area, and then add our bow. All right, we're going to use a sentiment from the Here's a Card. It's a cling stamp, and it's got 14 different sentiments here, and this is a great one to have on hand so that you can use for various occasions. So I'm going to type stamp happy birthday on a scrap of Whisper White. And nope, don't like that because it didn't have enough ink. So now this paper, we're going to trim it down. So Okay, there we go. So let's go ahead and close that up. And let's bring in our trimmer. I should have gotten my small one, but let's go ahead and use this one. So we're going to trim this down and cut it into a little bit of a banner. So let's lay that there. Okay, I think that's what we'll do. Perfect. And then we'll just trim off, and I can do that with my... All right, we're going to go ahead and trim this down, and we'll make a little banner out of it. And I just cut up the center mark a little bit, and then just cut in from the side, and that will make a nice banner. All right, we're going to go ahead and attach that with dimensionals to the bottom of our card. All right, so there's that. Now the next thing we're going to do, we've got this piece that we cut off, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and cut this at 3 3/4, which was the width of our cardstock. So let's cut that down. We'll decorate the inside of our card. So we're going to make this at 3 3/4. All right, and we'll attach that. And then we'll put a little sentiment, we'll put a little sentiment next to that. So we're just going to attach that to the bottom. We'll use our snail adhesive and attach that. You always like to dress up the inside of the card. It makes everything look pretty. All right, so we're going to use the one, I made you a card because you're worth it. So we'll use this one. Stamp that sentiment and make sure we've got that on here. Let's stamp it over here and make sure, yep. So we're going to go ahead and stamp that right about here on our card, and we can write up here if we want to. Card is almost done, and then the next thing I'm going to do on the front, I'm going to use some of our in color faceted dots, and we're going to take a piece of our small lavender ones. We'll put that there. Let's just do a couple of the lavenders, because there's our card that we've made. It's a fun fold, very easy to do. And we're all set. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you're interested, if you've not signed up for my newsletter, please do so at shallwestamp.com, and that will keep you abreast of what I'm doing in my crafting world as far as classes and what's coming up on the online world. Okay, thanks again, and this is Dawn at Shall We Stamp, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.